Hey everybody, what's up and welcome back to Arena Hacks. My name is Kyle and today I'm actually going to be doing a little bit of look at Strixhaven and what's coming up in Strixhaven, and then after that I will be coming back to this deck here to talk about it a little bit, and then we'll be going on to some gameplay with this deck to finish up the historic Shakeup Week 3. So I'm not going to spend too much time on the Strixhaven, I guess, spoilers or whatever. I'm not doing a spoiler. I know like other people have done spoiler ones, videos and stuff like that. I don't know where they get the list of these cards so early. So I'm just showing you what Wizards puts out there for us all to look at. We're still 2 weeks ish. I'm pretty sure we're almost exactly 2 weeks to the day when I'm uploading this video. So there'll still be 2 weeks from now before Strixhaven is released. So there might even be more cards that Wizards does keep adding to that website. But let's just go take a look at that right now, and then we'll come back here before some gameplay. Okay, so here we are at the website that Wizards of the Coast puts out, just for, you know, giving leaks and just the cards that they are coming up for the next set, which right now, as most of you probably already know, is Strixhaven, School of Mages. A lot of people make jokes about it being like Hogwarts, and it's like this whole set is like a Harry Potter knockoff or something like that, and so it is stuff like that, School of Mages, and it's kind of funny seeing some of the spells and stuff they have here. One of them somewhere is called Study Break and stuff like that, and Eager First Year as a creature and stuff like that. So it is really school related, and it's kind of funny that way from the things I've noticed. But yeah, so going on here. Choose. Oh yeah, I should be reading this out loud. I'm just like, I haven't read this one yet, so I'm just so intrigued by it. Like, oh, what's this one? Right? So it's a lesson, and that's important for sorceries, whether they're lessons or not, because there are cards in here that you can actually bring lessons from outside the game. So you can have this in your sideboard. And you can actually check out, I have a video where I talk about sideboarding. So if you're new to Magic and you don't know what that is, there will be a link up there. You can go click on and check it out and learn what sideboarding is all about. But for those who already know, yeah, like sideboarding I think is going to be really interesting with Strixhaven because of these lessons and because of the ability, I think it's called Learn. The Learn ability right here. You may reveal a lesson card you own from outside the game and put it into your hand. Or you can discard a card and draw a card. So you can do like a pseudo-cycling with this Learn ability. But you can also, and all Learn is like that. It's all the same. You get a lesson from outside the game and put it into your hand, or you discard a card to draw a card. It's a little more card value to go outside the game and bring a card in because you're actually adding a card to your hand. Whereas if you discard a card and draw a card, you're just spinning. You might be getting rid of a card that it's kind of dead and it's useless in the situation, whatever's going on in the game. So you might get rid of that and then draw another card and hope that you get something good. Or you could just reach outside the game, pull a whole new card, add a card to your hand instead of getting rid of one. You add the card to your hand and make sure it's a card that will be suitable for the situation that you're currently in. As long as you include those lessons. Is it lessons? No. Yeah, Learn. You can get a lesson from outside the game. So as long as you make sure you include those lessons in your sideboard, then you're going to be able to get those from outside the game. And it's card advantage that way too, instead of just discarding and drawing another one. I haven't even read this yet out loud. So choose one. So one or the other, not both, unfortunate. But it's only 2 mana. So choose an online card. Choose a non-land card name. Opponents can't cast spells with the chosen name until your next turn. Okay, so it can't cast spells. That'd be interesting. You see them bring a companion to their hand, and then you can, during your turn, yeah, you can make sure that they can't play their companion on their next turn, right? Choose target non-land permanent until your next turn. It can't attack or block. Its activated abilities can't be activated. So, okay, until your next turn, so. Academic probation. Interesting. So yeah, that could be highly situational, which one of these you would want to do. So grabbing that from outside the game is not bad. Seeing as though it's only 2 mana, you can usually cast it pretty quickly right away with any of those Learn abilities. Yeah, Elite Spellbinder here. So what's he all about? Spellbinder enters the battlefield. Look at target opponent's hand. You may exile a non-land card from it. Whoa, that seems like a black spell that you're looking at their hand. May exile a non-land card from it. For as long as that card remains exiled, its owner may play it. Its owner may play it. A spell cast this way costs 2 more to cast. That's kind of weird. A 3-mana 3/1 with flying. So that's like a new Brazen Borrower sort of thing. 3 mana, and it's a 3/1 flyer. Enters the battlefield. Look at target opponent's hand. A non-land card. Exile a non-land card. They can cast a card, but they have to pay 2 extra mana for it. So that's weird. That's like a... Not really like... remove the card from your opponent's hand, kind of like just slow you down from playing and make you pay more mana to play it, I guess. So it's like a makeshift sort of removal, but you're not removing anything at all. You're just making it take longer for your opponent to play. That's interesting. But, you know, that does make the difference, too. When you slow down your opponent, you can really cost them the game. Like... Yeah, and depending on what they have in their hand, too. If they're relying on a certain creature, and then you also attack, and it's like it's early game, like you play this on your 3rd turn or something, and then they have a creature that they need to play on their next turn, and it's like you pick that creature, it's like, well, now they can't cast it for another 2 additional turns until they get the mana. Maybe they don't even have that mana in their hand, right? So something like that. That seems highly situational for it to be all that useful. Yes, it does slow your opponent down, but if they have anything else that they can cast to still get value, delaying them for that one card only really helps if they need that one card, is really where I can only see that being like critically useful, because then they just cast it a few turns later for more mana. It's an interesting one. I have to see that in gameplay before I decide really how I feel about that one. That's an interesting one. Some more rares here. I'm just going to try to keep this quick, like I mentioned, so I'm not going to look at like literally everything. Pop quiz, I see like all the school stuff. Buried Books, Archmage, and Myriatus. So Magecraft, there's another one. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, then draw a card. So that's a really neat one. There was a really neat card in Kaldheim that came out called Dual Strike, where you can copy an instant or sorcery spell that you've played, and you can choose new targets for the copy, blah, blah, all that stuff, right? So it's like, I like how they specify if you copy it too. Whenever you cast or copy, you draw a card. So that's really good, because when you cast an instant or sorcery, you get to draw a card. And then it's usually after you cast it, before it resolves, but as soon as you cast it, his first trigger will go and you draw a card. Then you can play your Dual Strike, or no, you play your Dual Strike first. That's how you play Dual Strike. You play Dual Strike first because it says the next instant or sorcery spell or you cast this turn gets copied. So you cast your Dual Strike, you get that little emblem or little effect that hovers there for a little bit. Then you cast your instant or sorcery. When you cast it, it'll trigger, but then you double it. Then you copy it from the Dual Strike, and then you get another card draw from that. So the fact that it says or copy an instant or sorcery, it means that when you copy, if you have this guy out, you're getting 2 cards, not just 1. And that's insane value. That is a ridiculous value if you really think about it, because you're playing one spell and you're playing another spell. So like with Dual Strike, it only costs 2 mana. So you can use 2 mana to essentially cost something that costs more than 2 mana twice, and it's 5 mana total, not 6, right? So you're getting good value that way with Dual Strike, but also you're getting good value because now you're drawing 2 cards when you play it. So you're playing 1 spell. You're playing 2 spells technically because you're playing the Dual Strike as well. So you're playing 2 spells, getting possibly, depending on what the spell you copied was, you're possibly getting like 2 spells worth of, or like 6 mana worth of spells for only 5 mana, or you're getting more 7, 8, whatever mana worth of spell, whatever you can double with that Dual Strike, and then you're getting that for a lot less mana. Plus you're getting to draw 2 cards and replace those cards that you play. So that gets really crazy. But the Magecraft ability is really just whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell. That's it. then each creature has a different ability after that, right? So Magecraft is just, it's kind of like landfall. Like in Zendikar, there's creatures that have landfall, and landfall all means the same thing. When a land enters the battlefield, you trigger whatever ability. That's the thing. Each creature has a different ability. The Nectar Pot, gain 1 life. The Lotus Cobra is add a mana to your mana pool of any color, right? But they're all landfall. So the Magecraft is kind of like that too. Whenever you cast or copy, that's an important part, as I just went on about. Cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell. What do you do, right? And that depends on which creature. So this guy, you get to do that. There's a Magecraft up here somewhere, I remember seeing right here. Whenever you cast a spell, this guy gets +1/+0 until end of turn. So if you can, so when you copy, it gets +1. Then the spell that you cast, it gets +1, or vice versa. You cast it, it gets +1/0. Then you copy it, it gets an additional +1/0, right? So then it becomes a 4/2 until end of turn. If you can copy an instant or sorcery spell. Really cool stuff. Some of this is really cool too. Professor Onyx, a Liliana Planeswalker. She doesn't look much like Liliana. A little bit there. She really looks different. I think the art in this one, Confront the Past, looks really cool. Because you can tell this person here is Professor Onyx. You can tell, like, it's the same, that weird thing on the shoulder, these spiky things. You can tell that the hair and everything up in a bun like that, you can tell that's Professor Onyx, which is a Liliana Planeswalker. But then you see what we're most familiar with. That's how Liliana normally looks, and that's in the reflection in the mirror. Right, and she's got those weird metal curly things in her hair that come out of her hair here, and that's the clothes we're more used to seeing her wearing, not this professor stuff, right? So it's like, just seeing that, I think that's really, I just kind of think that's kind of creative how they did that, like in the mirror, and it's called Confront the Past, and it's like an older version of Liliana that she's seeing in the reflection. I just think it's really cool. That's the way it all looks. But anyways, the spell itself, return target Planeswalker card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, or remove twice X loyalty counters from target Planeswalker and opponent controls. So that can be really bad. It's only 1 black mana plus X, whatever you set for X. So the more mana you have, the bigger Planeswalkers and stuff you can take down, or the bigger stuff you can get out of your graveyard. Professor Onyx has a Magecraft ability. To each opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life every time you cast or copy instant or sorcery. Lose 1 life. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 1 of them into your hand, and the rest into your graveyard. Cool. Yeah, just so much. Like I said, I don't want to spend too much time going through all of this. If there's anything that really particularly sticks out, I'll just add it into the videos for over the next 2 weeks. A video here, a video there. I'll just be like, oh, this is what I just found here. But there is something in the multicolored I did find earlier today. This guy, Hoffrey Ghostforge. Hoffrey Ghostforge? I guess that's what it is. It's really cool. Spirits do +1/+1 and have trample and haste. That's actually really cool, the trample and haste with the +1/+1. But this other ability down here is actually really cool. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, exile it. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a spirit in addition to its other types. And it has, when this creature leaves the battlefield, return exile card to your graveyard. So when it leaves the battlefield, so that token can get bounced back to your hand, which would just exile it or something. Tokens disappear whenever they leave the battlefield. No matter where they're going, they just disappear. So if they get bounced back to your hand, whatever, once they leave the battlefield, you get to return that card that's in exile back into your graveyard. Red-white doesn't seem terribly great at bringing stuff out of your graveyard, but I can really see that being handy, and maybe with you, if you do a triple color deck with black, what was I saying? Then you might have ways of getting cards back out of the graveyard. So then it's like, yeah, you can really get insane value out of your cards then. When you have this guy down, you play a creature, the creature dies, so you get a copy of it. The copy gets +1/+1, trample, and haste because it becomes a spirit. Remember down here, it becomes a spirit in addition to its other types, and spirits you control have +1, right? All that stuff. So it's like it gets that extra +1/+1 boost with trample and haste when the token comes back. And when the token goes away, however it goes away, whether it gets exiled, bounced back to your hand, whatever, your creature goes back into your graveyard, so you can pull it out with whatever you can. The other neat thing I noticed about Strixhaven is some of the land stuff. Oh, here's another thing I wanted to touch on. Colorless. sorceries. Now, we did see a few lessons up here as we were, like when I was first starting out there. But here we got 4 colorless sorceries, and they all seem to have sort of like a color to them. This seems like a very blue kind of spell, right? Almost like Opt, right? This one seems like green bluish or something. I can't remember. Non-land permanent. This seems like it could be white or black, right? So, and they're all colorless. They're a little heavier on mana, but that's because they're colorless. Colorless spells usually go that way, but they're all lessons, so you can sideboard them all and then bring them whenever you play something that has a learn ability or something that gives you the ability, like you learn, then you get to take a lesson from outside the game and put it into your hand. And they're all colorless, so they'll go whatever deck you have and you want this to put a sorcery like this in there, yeah, like you can still cast it. It doesn't matter what color of mana you have, right? So that's really cool stuff there that I wanted to point out. And then the other thing I was working towards was the lands. Now, I don't know if what we're seeing here, I know this is expanded. When I first came to this website, it was just very low. There was very few cards in it at all, and yeah, it wasn't much. There was no lands in it either, and they've definitely expanded it every day. They've added more cards that they're showing us, so that's why I said if I notice anything that really jumps out, like the things I'm mentioning right now, I'll put that on one of my videos. But like I could spend just freaking hours going through these all these cards, reading them all to you and everything. So I don't think that would be very entertaining, so we're not going to go that much longer with all this. But what I wanted to point out is we got more rare lands coming that are going to be able to come into the battlefield untapped and give us 2 different colors, one of 2 different colors. And I like these better than the double-faced lands because once they're on the battlefield, and I've talked about this many times before, we can choose what color we want from them as we tap them for mana. We don't have to choose the color when they come into the battlefield. So seeing these lands is actually, yeah, I'm really liking that from Strixhaven. All you need to do is reveal a base, like something that has one of these colors, like a forest does green. So you have to reveal either a forest or an island, right, to do this one. So just match the colors up really, like forests produce green. So this is the green-blue. So you have to, and it doesn't have to be both, you just have to reveal a forest or a island from your hand. Now they can be triomes too. Triomes have whatever colors they produce, they have that same, so if they do green, black, blue, they will count as a forest, they will count as a swamp, and they will count as an island, right? So there are cards like that that are not basic lands, but they do count as forests / whatever else or whatever, right? So you can have those lands in your hand. I believe all the snow lands from Kaldheim, the common ones that always enter tapped, but they can produce one of either 2 colors. I think those have the 2 land types in them. So for example, let's look at red-white here. If you have the red-white snow land from Kaldheim, it counts as a mountain, but it also counts as a plains, right? So you can reveal one of those snow lands when you play this one. What is this one here? Fury Calm Snarl. They're all snarl, 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 snarl. So when you play the Fury Calm Snarl, if you reveal the red-white snowland from Kaldheim, this will be untapped. Now that snowland, whenever you get around to playing it, is tapped, because that's what those lands are. But this one will be untapped, and then you can get either red or white, whatever you need from it, whenever you need, whatever color you need, right? Whenever you need it. Not just decide when you play it and get stuck with that for the rest of the game. So that was just something I really wanted to point out, that they do have the ability to come out into the battlefield tapped. They are more rare. This one, it's just 5 of them that I'm talking about. This one, as you can see, it's the same 2 colors. It's a common. It's something different. I don't know if there's going to be more of these campuses too in other mixed colors, because this is kind of neat. A little scry 1 for 4 mana. It's not super useful, but it does do the 2 colors of mana. It does give you that extra ability. If you run out of cards and you've got it's late game and you got all this mana untapped, yeah, right before you take your turn, scry that card, see what you got. Maybe throw it to the bottom before you draw your card or something like that, right? But it'd be very, very rare that you want to do this because it's just very clunky for scrying 1. So that's why it's a common land, but it does give you something to do if in those dire situations, and it does help balance your mana because of the 2 colors that it can produce. So, but yeah, I'm mostly excited about these rare lands. I hope I can get all of them. That'll be really helpful. Other than that, I don't think a bunch of legendary guys that flip, Deans, and what else do you call them? There's here scholars here, scholars and deans and all kinds of neat stuff, school related stuff, like I said. But I think that's all I'm going to do for now when it comes to this Strixhaven stuff that we're looking at here. I'm going to make sure you have that this URL in the link. You can get there just on the homepage on Arena. That big box in the middle that cycles every few seconds. One of those things will take you here. It'll just tell you leaks and cards that they're saying for Strixhaven. You click on it and you'll come here. But right now we're going to go take a look at the deck that I'm going to be showing you for some gameplay for Historic Shakeup Week 3, and then we're going to get to some gameplay. So let's go do that. Okay, so here it is. Old Reliable. It is almost entirely based off a deck that I built a long time ago. I think. Is there any Zendikar in here? There is actually. I don't think there is any Zendikar in here. So obviously there's Darkbore Pathway from Kaldheim. So I've obviously done some tweaks, clearly. So the land base was a little different. Essentially just balance all these lands, just try to balance the green and the black. So that's all I'm really doing down here. Fabled Passages, I don't think there's really... I feel like there was something about those. No, maybe it just helps balance the lands. Yeah, I guess. Right, yeah, those rare lands that's coming from Strixhaven, because I'm just like, oh, I don't want to do more tap lands, but I got 4 Darkbore Pathways, so it's like, what else do I do to balance green and black? Like, what other lands can I put in here? And I'm like, well, Fabled Passages, so you can tutor up your... What, I guess, like, that's all I have left to balance the lands that aren't necessarily tapped, so that's the way I went with that. But other than that, and the Gifted Aetherborn, because when I first originally made this deck, it was valid in Standard, and the Aetherborn, from the when I started playing Arena, he wasn't even in Arena, right? So this guy's definitely historic, and he was historic back then. I did have a historic version of the deck where it was just so I could put this guy in there because of the Death Touch and Lifelink. But I think what I had in there instead was it was a mana dork from War of the Spark. It was 3 mana, 1 green, 1 black, 1 colorless. And it was, I believe, a 2/3 Death Touch lifelink, but it's a mana dork that you can tap to give 1 mana of any color. So it was a mana dork as well. And that was really, really effective, really good mutate target, just like this guy. This one I was hoping maybe to get it out a little sooner. The double black is a little tricky, so to get out real early. I try to balance the green and the black as best as I can. And then, so right off the bat, you want 2 green or black sources as quick as you can and 1 green source. Set that up as quick as you can. So basically, if you have one of these and a swamp, that's it right there. You got 1 green source, 2 black sources. Even though you only have 2 lands, you still have that met, right? That's what I mean. You just want to be able to make 1 green. You want to be able to make 2 black right off the bat. Later on, when and not even that later on, very soon after that, you want to focus on getting a 2nd green out so that you can mutate your Gemrazer, right? So that's the most confusing part about this deck. Not confusing, but the hardest part is getting, you got a double black here and you got a double green here. So those 2 things that's something you just got to think about. It's not too bad, but you really got to be thinking about it from very step 1, from the get-go of every game, making sure you play your lands on the right colors and stuff like that, so that you have that double green when you need it and you have that double black when you need it. So the way this deck, it's a lot like another deck I've done like way back earlier when I first started this channel. But that deck I showed you was what I did with this deck after rotation happened. So Zendikar came in, and it was mostly, I took out the black and went mostly mono green with a splash of red for Porcuparrot. You know what, I'll include a link to a video that has it. Like I said, it's one of the older videos from when I first started the channel. But yeah, it's a really effective deck too. This one, I just wanted to go down memory lane. Some of the cards in it that are historic, Season of Growth, and that was really great because this was big. I went really big on Mutate. This was one of my first big Mutator decks. So Season of Growth, it's just every time you mutate, you're targeting one of your own creatures and you're getting card draw. I'm not too crazy about the scry, although the scry really does come in handy. Especially, it gets annoying when sometimes you actually gets triggering a lot, and you'll get like, if you have 2 Seasons of Growth on the battlefield, you'll get like 6 triggers for scry 1, right? And then it's like you'll scry 1, throw it on the bottom, scry your next one, throw it on the bottom, scry your 3rd one. Oh, I can keep that. Now you have 3 more scries for 1, And each time you look at that same card and you're like, put it back. No, I want to keep it on top. No, I want to get, and you're sitting there, click, click, click. Okay, let's go. Scry, I'm done. But the card draw is phenomenal on it. And I thought of this card and the Historic Shakeup, and it wasn't banned. So I'm like, I remember this Death Touch Mutator deck that I did back in the day, and it was really fun. And because of the creature I told you that was swapped out, I wish I could remember its name right now, but I swapped out with Aetherborn. It was in standard at the time. So was Vampire of the Dire Moon. So unlike my Pauper Death Touch Mutator deck, actually it's not even really a Death Touch Mutator, it's only the one Mutator, but anyways, it has a base of Death Touch in it as well. But this is more because of these historic guys that have Death Touch and Lifelink. This is like a Death Touch / Lifelink base. And then you mutate on top of it with Gemrazers, Greathorns, and Starrixes. You also have the Blightfang, which is more Death Touch you can mutate on top of, also giving you Drain and Gain whenever you attack with Death Touch, which you're likely to have because there's a lot of it in this deck. So it's like he really helps with some good extra life gain on top of the lifelink you already have. He does not have lifelink, but he's also a great mutate target because of his Death Touch. He's also a great target for Warbriar's Blessing, as well as Ram Throughs, which is what we use to kill our opponent's stuff. Gemrazers, I don't think in the gameplay you're about to see we actually use them to blow up enchantments. One enchantment. I won't tell you which one. I do remember there was one enchantment we managed to hit. I played Gemrazers a bunch of times, but there was never any target for me to blow up, no enchantment or artifacts for me to blow up. But sometimes your opponents do wreck you with enchantments and or artifacts. Therefore, you must always have a few Gemrazers to make things go smoothly. Also, that Reach and Trample is just devastating. Migratory Greathorn, lots of mana ramp from that guy. More mutate to get mutate triggers from Gemrazer if you need to destroy more artifacts, enchantments. Build up your mutate number. That way when you play a Starrix, you're getting that many more permanents off the top of your library. So there's my mutators, my classic set. My favorite 3 mono green mutators from Ikoria. These 3 guys right here, all paired up with Hooded Blightfang and some Death Touch Lifelingers, getting lots of card draw from Season of Growth. So we're hitting our blessings and our ram throughs like crazy because of our card draw. We're getting extra card advantage by taking permanents from our library and throwing them directly on the battlefield. The only non-permanents we have of all our spells is Ram Through. That's it. Ram Through is the only thing that will get that Starrix will exile, and it'll just stay exiled. Everything else will just go exile and then right onto the battlefield. Boom. Ram Through is the only one. So that's really cool. Let's get to some gameplay and see how it works out. Okay, so wow, this is absolutely horrendous. All right, there we go. That's mediocre, I guess. Okay, well, we're definitely keeping this. I think we drop a land. We won't be able to mutate this on our 3rd turn, though. Unless we get rid of this tap land. But we kind of need to scry. Oh, and we need 2 green to mutate Gemrazer as well. Hopefully that scry will... I don't know. I really want to do this 1st turn. And then we can go green 2nd turn to do a Ram Through, depending on what our opponent does. Okay. Get out, tapped. So they're not doing anything either. Okay, I was going to say, what's going on? Why is it taking them... Do you have full control on, buddy? And if you do, why? Turn it off for your 1st turn, especially if you're playing a tap land on your 1st turn, and that's it. Don't have your auto freak or your full control running. Because I'm like, why is it sitting on combat? Yeah, they must be holding up control somehow. Or just using, yeah, not somehow. It's pretty easy. Control. Put stops on your phases or whatever. You can hold up control as well. I think we should go for a mutate first. So we got 2 black here. If we play this on green, we've got 2 green then. I think we go this way. Get some more mana. Yeah, what is going on here? Again, they've got no mana. Like, all their mana is tapped. And look, it just keeps sitting here and wait. I can't do anything right now. We're just waiting for our opponent. He's going to be an annoying control player, isn't he? Wow. Because this is already annoying me. It's like, dude, you can't even do anything. Why are you holding priority? Why is it... Like, what the heck? Again, it's like everything is so slow. I wonder if this is one of those players who just tries to annoy the person to get them to quit. And that's how they get their wins. I've heard, I don't know if I've encountered it. Maybe I have. But I've heard people will do that. Will just go into a game, start a game, walk away from their computer just to increase their win rate. Because the way it works is the vast majority of people just actually end up conceding and walking away from the game. So then the person who's just sitting there waiting gets a free win out of it. Do I want to hit that guy down first, or do I want to go like with a ram through, or do I just like, let's keep getting more mana so we can do more things per turn? They want to keep bouncing this back to our hand. It's not going to be super terrible because we can just keep playing it over and over and getting more mana, and we can start doing more things in a single turn. I don't know what color to get. Another black maybe? Yeah, let's go with another black. So we got 2 mono green, 2 mono black, and then 1 color, one that does anything we want. A nice, diverse mana base. With the double green in the Gemrazer and the double black in the Aetherborn. Another back to my hand. You draw a card. Any more flyers to make this guy bigger? Scry though, so they're going to get more mana next turn. Or not more mana, but they have more mana because of this. Not because of the scry, because of the land. Next turn, they're going to have 4 lands instead of just 3. They look like they were getting mana screwed there for a bit. Let's throw that back out. Let's just get rid of that guy now before he has mana for a counter spell. Right? Once he untaps his lands, he might have a counter spell in hand and counter our thing. Now this way we gained a little bit of life because of the life length on the vampire there. Does this work? Spells your mana. Ah, dang. Costs an extra 2 mana, target flying guy. So if I try to do this, I wouldn't be able to target that guy, I don't think. No, I'd have to pay 2 mana. Actually, I'd have to pay 2 extra mana for all of them. But that's okay, we can pay the 2 mana for that guy on our next turn. Get rid of him. Actually, I don't even need the 2 extra mana. I can play this. Because I'm not targeting it with a spell, I'm targeting it with an ability. That way it still only costs 2 mana. Dang. I can attack in this turn. Do we want to go this? Yeah, let's go this way. Hold up that Gemrazer a little later. And there they go. That was weird. They were being annoying. Why did they just go all of a sudden? They were probably struggling too much for their lands. A little bit better of a start, sort of. I wish there was more diversity. Like 4 different cards in my 7-card hand. Blightfang, Vampire, Forest, Swamp. 4 different cards in my 7-card starting hand. Bah. Crap. Just for fun. Just because we did the same thing. And they were always one of my favorite creatures when they were in Standard. Still are one of my favorite creatures. I just don't, since I don't do a super amount of Historic, I don't run into them too often. Just 2 swamps. Should we try to, I don't know. Let's offer a trade and see what they do, because we do have another one we can just throw down if they decide to block, and they don't. Alright. They're a turn ahead of us, so I didn't play the other one because I want to hold up the mana for a ram through. Just in case. Okay, they're attacking. We'll let them hit us and gain their life, but we're going to get rid of that thing. That gets a +1/+1 counter every time you gain life. And it's flying, so it won't be a pain in the butt. Just do this, we can gain more life this way. So we just gained 2 life that turn, I think. We're running very similar decks, not identical. Yeah, they got black white, we're black green. We're gonna go heavier on the mutate. Wow. -5, -5. Wow. 3 mana for -5, -5, -5? Wow, yeah, okay. Dang. Should I use it on this guy and trade our guys? 4 cards. I don't have any more removal. I don't know if I should do it or not. Let's not do it. Let's hold off and see if we can maybe get a better target for that Warbriars. That's a tough decision. That's a better target. Unfortunately, you're going to gain some life. It's going to get pumped up and nice and big. Man, I really need a freaking mana right now. Holy jeebas. So attack with everybody. Definitely not going to block it. And he loses his guy. And then we play this. We'll play it on one of our tap guys so we can still block. So it was the right decision to hold off on that blessing. That Warbriar's Blessing. Yeah, 1 mana of any color fixes all your coolers. Your coolers. So we've got a Blightfang coming the next 2 turns in a row. Actually, no blocks. We can race them. If we go Blightfang, we're going to gain 2 life just by attacking with those guys. With these 2 guys. And then they're going to gain 2 life just because they have lifelink, right? So we gain 2 life. We're gaining life a lot faster than they can drain it with their 1/1. As long as we make sure that's all they really get to keep on the battlefield is just that 1/1. We should be okay. No way I'm blocking it with my Blightfang. Since they're both Death Touch, they will definitely trade. Kind of figured they had something like that. Another one. Which is why I was okay. And like, we got another Blightfang coming up. A couple more lands would be pretty dope. Pretty dope. Attack all in, get some more drain and gain, get some more Death Touch lifelink. They're going to block it now. I was considering trading one of our vampires with their vampire earlier, so it's, yeah. Man. Dang. Okay, what do we got coming next? That's enough to mutate Starrix. So, let's attack with that, get the drain and gain, see if they block, which I didn't think they would. I think we're okay passing on and not using the Warbriar's Blessing. And Okay, now we're probably going to have to use it. That's got Death Touch though, so... Should I put this on the Blightfang or the VDM? I'd like to put it on the VDM because it has very high power. And then that'll give that lifelink, make it more effective. I'd also like to deal with his flying Death Touch guy here, and the only way to do that is to sacrifice one of my creatures by playing the Warbriars and making them fight. I think we mutate this, and the target is the guy with lifelink. I think that's the way we go. Okay, not bad. I can't attack into any of their stuff though right now. I can play the Blessing on the Starrix here. Oh, of course you do. Gemrazer, man. Come on, Gemrazer. Got so many Gemrazers in here. Haven't seen one all game. No, didn't think so. No. So yeah, I can't get that back. Let's see if they block that. There we go. Okay, sorry. I'm kind of really in the zone right now, or trying to be. So I didn't explain what I was thinking through there. But yeah, you saw what I did. That was how I planned that out. I attacked with the Death Touch, gained some life. I lost my Death Touch, yeah. But they blocked, so they lost both their creatures. I still have this guy on the battlefield from everything that went down. Let's just grab black with this right away. No point in waiting. And that's it. And now, if we can just get one extra power on it, it's game. Now we need 2 extra. Okay, it's not, okay, it works. We can make it work. Like, it's not really ideal, but we trigger it for 1, but we trigger it twice. Get a land, yay. Get the scry. Don't want that, it'll go into exile. And then that would have been handy so long ago, but now it's not going to be that useful. What do I have in exile? These guys here. Okay, so would they play another land and they were going to lose. Right, so it came down to top decking luck. Well, except I managed to keep my Starrix alive. And that's why that whole thing I was explaining earlier was like, yeah, I had to think this through. Because I had to think away, how am I going to keep power on the board while we're moving their board? And that was what you saw was what I came up with. And I'm pretty sure that was the moment when I won the game, is when I did that. When I went silent there and was like, okay, here's what I'm doing. Just thought it through and then did my thing. I think that's the moment when we hit it. All right, let's see what we got. Oh my, wow. I had no idea how I was doing on any of these daily challenges. 750 and 2 500, and they just all finished. Wow. Look at, wait. They all finished? And only got 500 XP. No, that's not right. They're 500 each. Okay, more 500. Yeah, that's 1,500 plus the 275 from the daily win and the, okay, yeah. They did it in 2 separate little things. 500 XP and, what is this, 1,275? Rare card, I'm not sure what that's from. The Mastery, I think? Because this is from the, no, the rare card's from the event. Right, it's even historic, it's a Monket. Mirror Made, no, Mirage Mirror, okay, becomes a copy of target artifact, creature, enchantment, or land until end of turn. It only lasts until end of turn. Target artifact, creature, enchantment, or land. Interesting. Cosmetic over here, that must be from the Mastery. This must also be from the Mastery. guy's interesting. What is it? Library enters the battlefield. You may search your library for exactly 2 cards not named Burning Rune Demon that have different names. They have to have different names as well. If you do reveal those cards, an opponent chooses one of them, put the chosen card into your hand and the other into your graveyard. Then shuffle your library. Search your library for exactly 2 cards. And that have different names. Not Burning Rune Demon. Burning Rune Demon. That's a weird one. So you want to put cards in your library that have different names. So you want very low copies of them, but you want them to all be equally awesome, so that when you show your opponent, it doesn't matter which one they choose, it's going to be awesome, and it's going into your hand. That's basically what you want to try to do to build around this guy. That sounds like a complicated ability to build around or to synergize well with. It's a mythic rare, so I bet if there are cards that they've printed to go with this very, very well. This is Kaldheim. Yeah, I feel like I've seen this guy before. This might be my first copy. I don't think so. It would say that first on it, so I probably have 1 or 2 already. But yeah, that's an interesting one. That's a complicated one. Yeah. But yeah, it could be good in other decks, even if you're not building around it. You just find 2 things with different names that are both useful for the situation you're in the game, and you're digging through your whole library. It's not like the top 6 cards of your library. It's search your library for exactly 2 cards. So that's really powerful to search anywhere in your library. Yeah. I think I'll do one more game. I didn't get like another 1,500. What is this? All this now? 1,500 for all this, but I already had like 1,275, and then 500 before that. What is that? I didn't get that many levels, did I? Or that many? Another one of these guys. I'm confused why there was. What is all this here? I thought the last page was all my rewards, and 2 of these guys too. What? That's kind of crazy. I must have at least 3 copies, maybe a full set of them by now. Now just getting 2 of them. More? Are you kidding me? I saw that already. Is it repeating things? We're going to go check something out real quick here. Just see what my new cards are. So I only have 2 of these, so I just got... I forgot to see if that said first over top before I hovered on it. Did I just get these 2 now, or did I already have one and I just got 1? Because it duplicated that style. I saw that style in the beginning, and then it showed me the style again. I don't know, sometimes the program glitches. But anyways, like I said, I'm going to do one more game just for fun with this deck. Here she goes. Oh, yeah. We need something other than that Starrix. We at least need a 3-drop creature. Preferably one of our 1 or 2s. Here we still got this. Here we got a 3-drop. Might have to drop a removal. That sucks. I don't really want to drop the removal. 1 tap land. No first turn, so we got to keep it. Yeah, I don't want to drop our removal, but yeah. So go with this. Oh, it's too late now. And I'm thinking, maybe we should have went Fabled Passage instead, in case we don't draw another land. If we get 1 more land, then by our 4th turn we can play the Fabled Passage and get an untapped land. But this is too late now. I can't go back. Yeah. Oh well, do it. Dang. I changed my mind. I didn't want to do that. Alright, so mono red. Ew, mono red. That's going to be fast. Get the Season of Growth down. So we got nothing else to do next turn. And pray we get an untapped land. See, if we would have done this the other way around, would have done Fabled Passage on black, then done Forest onto Season of Growth. And then this turn, this coming turn, if we don't draw an untapped land, then we would play this, pay 2 life, so it would be untapped. Toying with me, huh? This is messed up. If we're gonna scry with this, we should shuffle our library first. So it really sucks. We're doing things this way. Definitely getting black, because this is black and green, so we got 2 green, 1 black. Now we have 2 of each, which is perfect, ideal for our deck. Get this down. Okay, I actually like that. Let's get that removal back that we threw away before. Man, we're getting a sluggish start here against what looks to be soldiers. It looks like soldiers. They're all soldier type. Got another soldier. The knight. Flying in haste, dude. And then the extra doubles. Oh, man. 4 damage through. Okay, this guy gains life, though. Can hit his flying and then use them for blocking. We need mana, though, so I'd like to use this. They can still get their flying over us, though. Over top of us. Let's get rid of their flying. Draw out of the deal. Okay. There's another land at least, which is helpful. Fortunately, we won't get to do anything with it, because we don't have enough mana to do anything. Nice. Thank you. Ah! Oh, now I was gonna give hearts because I like that creature so much. And then I hesitated and like, yeah, you destroyed it, and I give the little crybaby face. Dang it! This is not fair. Where's all my other removal? Where's all my other stuff? Where's all everything? Yeah, I won't have enough mana. I can't play this and mutate this. I need a 1 or 2 drop. There it is. But I can't draw it because I have no way of drawing it. And I can't use my Fabled Passage now until I draw that card because I want that card. I do want that vampire there. So we're going to take 4 damage from this guy because I cannot block it with my Blightfoot. So he's my Blightfang. Can you do that again? How much mana is it? 2? Oh, shit. He can do it again. He's probably going to force a block out of my Blightfang. That goes up to 5. Okay, so he's letting it go. Or he's going to go to combat. Because he can do that at instant speed. And he's mentoring that bugger too. I have to block. That sucks. Forcing me into a block. Of course he does. Yeah, I was like wondering because of the first strike, yeah. So of course this guy stacked his deck and has everything in order, and we struggled like everything from the mulligan up front. Man, I just love it how often games work out like that for me. Like just so often. It's like, just, it's like, yeah, your opponent just has every perfect thing they could possibly have. I have tons of removal, and I've seen, I had to throw away my first one. I've seen none. Did I decline? Oh, whatever. I could have played this again, but it doesn't matter. Oh, that was ridiculous. Here's absolutely everything you need. I can't stand when it's absolutely so perfect for my opponent like that. Okay, so what did you guys think? What do you think of the deck? What did you think of everything at the beginning? And yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Yeah, if you liked it, definitely share it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. All that awesome stuff. And go check out that beginner's guide playlist if you're new to Arena or new to the channel. Just go check it out. Even for more experienced players, there's a lot of good tips on there about Arena, how to build your collection without spending a lot of money. So yeah, even some of your newer guys, go check that out. See if there's anything in there that I teach you that you don't already know. Other than that, have a great week, everybody. Go make some magic happen. Cheers.